Did I let my younger self down? It's my birthday. My birthday is September 25th. Don't know when this is going to get posted. I hope to post this on my birthday, but we'll see. Anyway, this time of year, I always get really, really introspective, like everybody else. I'm not that special. I know we all do. But I stumbled across this notebook that I wrote in, and in it is a list of 50 things to do before I die. I wrote this in 2021. Um, and so I guess it's a bit of a bucket list. I never thought I had a bucket list, to be honest. Like, I'm not really a bucket list type of girl. I'm a live your life type of girl. But apparently, I have a bucket list. So I wrote this list when I was 22 years old. And I'm sitting here wondering, like, if 22-year-old Lib knew what I was up to right now at 47, would she be impressed? Or would she be disappointed in me? Like, let's go through the list. Let's go through the list together. First of all, my name's Labria Jones. I am obsessed with living this one and only life to the fullest. I have this long-term goal of self-mastery, and I love to share the things I'm doing, the things I'm trying, what's working, what's not working, in the hopes that it helps you live your one and only life to the fullest as well. And today, I am actually going to go through this list that I wrote in March of 2001 and figure out, like, where I am with myself. Okay, I had to move you guys to a tripod because I feel like you were looking at my nose, and that just ain't cute. Anyway, a little bit of background. I was 22 years old when I wrote this, and it was for a class. I was taking, I think, an organizational behavior class by a professor who I still adore. He passed away a few years ago. His name is Dr. George Clark. He was very cerebral, very much like a modern day philosopher. And a lot of the work and exercises that he did were really about getting to know who we were as people. I know the class was organizational behavior, or was it? I think it was organizational theory, was the class, but it was a bit of like business philosophy. And so he had us do, like, this whole notebook has quite a few exercises that he had us do. Like, he had us write our absolutes. Like, what are the things we absolutely believe? And so it's so interesting, though, because my mindset at the time at 22, when I look back on that time, I tend to think I didn't know or like myself very much. That's how I've characterized that period of my life. You know, I had fun. I think I was a smart girl. I felt very lost at the time. I think I was very unsure what I wanted to do with my life. I think at this time, I thought I wanted to be in marketing, and I was struggling to find identity at the time. That's what I remember about myself. But reading this list, I think I knew myself a lot better than I thought I did. Anyway, let's go through the list and see where I've landed on some of these things. Let's see how well I knew me. Like, do I still want these things? And have I accomplished them at 47 years old? And do I still have time? And do I still even care about some of this stuff? All right, let's read through these. And I'm either going to say if I nailed it, if I'm getting there, if I've basically evolved past this, it's not my thing anymore, or if I am on struggle. Here we go. You see Milo back here chilling. Okay. 1, get proposed to. I'm on struggle. I am on struggle with this one. It's so interesting that the first thing I said is get proposed to. Like, do I want to get married? I just want somebody to ask me. Like, I do think this speaks to, like, this deep desire I've always had to be wanted and chosen. Number 2 is live in New York. I'm smiling because this takes me back to, like, this little girl version of myself. I always dreamed of living in New York. My goal when I graduated was to move to New York. Like, I've always dreamed of moving to New York and living there, especially when you're young. Like, I feel like New York is like a great place to live fresh out of college. It's exciting. You learn a lot. It's gritty. Like, the city challenges you, pushes you, inspires you. I definitely have a romanticized view of New York. I also understand that New York is, gross, overpriced, crowded, dangerous, and a lot of things. I visited New York a few times, and I've never stopped wanting to live there. But when I got pregnant, I knew New York was way too expensive for me to be trying to raise a child as a single mom, as a young single mom. And I also, I don't know, I love being a Southern woman, and I wanted to raise a Southern girl as well. And so my priorities changed once I got pregnant. But I'd say, obviously, I'm gonna struggle with this one, but I have not evolved past it. I still want to live in New York. In fact, just a couple of days ago, my daughter mentioned that she would love to live in New York. And I was like, I've been thinking about going to stay in New York for like 3 months or 6 months or something, because I would love to experience living in New York. I'd say on struggle. I'd also say still hopeful. Still hopeful on this one. 3, buy my mother a Corvette. My mother is into Corvettes. And at this time, she already had one. But I've always wanted to buy her a Corvette from my birth year. So a 1978 Corvette. On struggle with this one. I hadn't even thought about this one again. I have paid her car note before, if that helps. Like for her birthday, a couple times I've paid her car note on her Corvette. But she has 2 Corvettes. She doesn't need another one. I don't know. Maybe I've evolved past this one. We'll see. Number 4, obtain good credit. Ciao. If you watch my last video where I talked about how I got scammed and how like a lot of things were going wrong, you will find that my credit score dropped 80 points last month. So this is still on struggle. I'm still on struggle. I haven't given up on this. I'd say, still trying to get there. Still trudging along on this. I had really bad financial habits in my 20s. I've evolved way past that, but there's still some things that I got to clean up and that I'm, working on. And a lot of the credit challenges I have today are from mistakes that I made in my 20s and 30s. And so I'm cleaning up a mess that a past version of myself made, all while trying to build new habits. So it's been challenging, but I'm up for the challenge. So I'd say I'm trudging along on this one. Number 5 is buy a house. Young Libria wanted to buy a house. I am happy to tell her that I've bought 2 houses. I have bought my first house I bought on my birthday. I closed on my house on my birthday in 2009. It was a lovely house in a wonderful neighborhood that I'm just so happy I got to buy. It was a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bathroom, 2-story house with a huge yard. It was basically the house I wish I had grown up in. Fun fact, I grew up in a trailer, but this was the house I wish I had grown up in. And what's funny is when I was thinking about buying it, my mom was like, why would you buy a house that big? Why don't you wait until you get married? And my thought was, I don't control getting married. So if I never get married, I never get to have this nice house and give my daughter a yard. She played soccer. Like I wanted her to have a dog and a yard and all those things. And then I sold that house in 2019. I sold that house like too early. Man, if I had just waited another year, I could have made bank. But I also bought a house in Tulsa, Oklahoma that I still own, that I have renters in. And I'm planning to buy more property, which is why I'm trying to get my credit score together. So buy a house. Young Libria, I nailed it. Nailed it. Number 6, get married and have children. At least I didn't want to just be proposed to. At least I also wanted to be married. So I don't know. I guess since this is one line item, I guess I'd say I am trudging along on this one. I did have children. I have nailed it. I had a child. I also had a bonus child who unfortunately passed away a few years ago, but I raised 2 kids and they're wonderful people. Jaden was a wonderful person before he passed away. And my daughter is just getting better and better every day. Yeah. So I did have a child. I always wanted 3 kids. I always wanted a girl and 2 boys. But I didn't want to have any more kids without being married. So it's just being Zai. And I did not get married. Sorry to disappoint you, 22-year-old Lib. Number 7 is forgive myself. Girl, what was 22-year-old Lib on? What did I need to forgive myself for at that time? What did I need to forgive I don't have time to figure that out. If I had to think about all the things that I would have held a grudge against myself on from then to now, because we do that, right? We hold on to mistakes that we've made. We hold grudges against ourselves. And sometimes we do it unknowingly. I'd say some stuff I've forgiven myself for and some stuff I'm still holding on to. Yeah, some stuff I'm still working on letting go of. So trudging along on that one. Number 8 is star in a movie. I used to want to be an actress. So fun fact, I won regional and state awards in acting in high school. I performed a lot in high school. And then when I got to college, I did a play. Actually in high school also, we did a short film and won some contest, and we got to go down to Universal Studios and refilm our short film on at Universal Studios, which was interesting. It was a real cool experience. And then when I got to college, I was in a play, but I have not acted since then. So starring a movie is an interesting one. Sorry to let you down, girl. I think I've evolved past this. Unless, someone wants to cast your girl, I'll be in a movie. But it's not something I'm interested in pursuing anymore. Number 9 is write a book. I've always loved writing. I do love writing. So in high school, my best subjects were math and writing. I'm very analytical, but also very creative. I'm a like both sides of the brain person. And I love writing. And there's a couple of books I've wanted to write. One is a nonfiction book. I've been meaning to write a book about working remotely for a long time. But there is a couple of fiction books that I've been wanting to write as well. So I haven't done that yet. Sorry, 22-year-old lib. I've not nailed this for you yet. But it is something that is still on my list. I have not evolved past this. So I'm just going to say I'm on struggle because it's not like I'm trudging along on this at all. Number 10 is find my friend Fatima. This is a tough one. I had a friend in high school named Fatima. We met in ninth grade. And she was so beautiful. God, she was so pretty. And she was really good at doing hair and really good at makeup. And she would do my hair. And we became friends at a time where my self-esteem was super low. Like I didn't think I was pretty at all. I don't know. I had super low self-esteem and low confidence. And she would always just tell me how pretty I was. I don't know. She always kind of poured into me, and she took me under her wing and taught me things. Like she taught me how to do my hair. She was trying to teach me how to do makeup, and she was just good people. I enjoyed talking with her, and she always went lower than surface level. Like she was pretty deep for a ninth grader. But something happened and her family had to move away and we lost touch because it was back before cell phones, right? We lost touch. And I remember I used to dream that I would go on Oprah, like I would write a letter to Oprah and Oprah would find her and bring me on the show and like reunite us. I used to dream that a long time ago. I actually did find her years ago. I found her on MySpace. I think she was an artist. This is like after we all got off MySpace, but people were still on there. Like artists were still on there. It became like just a place for artists. And I think I found her on MySpace, but I sent her a message and I don't think I ever got a response. But I don't know, maybe she doesn't want to be found. So I actually did try. So I'm going to call this nailed it because I did find her. I did do that. I hope she's doing well. I really do. I hope she's doing well. And if I could send her a message, it would just be thank you. She had such a huge impression on my life in the small amount of time that we were friends, such that I spent a long time wanting to reunite with her. I spent a lot of time wondering if she was okay and how she turned out and how her life turned out. And yeah, thank you, girl. Thank you for being my friend at a time where I didn't feel really good about myself. And thank you for bringing beauty and joy into my life. I really appreciate you for that. Number 11 is spend time with my father. This is a complicated one. I don't even know how much of this I'm going to go into on this video. My biological father was not really involved in my life growing up very much. And I think at the time that I wrote this, I wanted to build a relationship with him and I wanted to spend time with him. But I think over time, I just kind of lost the desire to really like whatever hole I felt that I wanted him to fill. I guess I don't know. I patched it up and moved on. I realized that I had a dad and didn't need another one. So we didn't do this one. Sorry, girl. Not only that, I kind of evolved past it. 12, become spiritually sound. I'll be honest, I don't even know what I meant by that. And I don't know what it means today. Like if I had to define it, I don't know what it means today. I grew up in a very religious home. This house that I'm in right now was my great grandmother's home. And she was a very religious woman, a very, 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 very religious woman. My dad became a ordained minister when I was in middle school, but I've never felt completely comfortable with religion. And I've never really felt like I knew without a doubt what I believed spiritually. Like I didn't have this unshakable faith. I don't think I've ever felt completely solid on what I believe from a spirituality perspective. I do believe that I believe in God. I do know that. But the rest of it, I don't know. I don't think I've ever been like Christianity is it. It is the way, the truth, and the light. I respect religion. I respect religious people, but it's just never been something that I've loved. And so even this time, even at this point, I was like, well, on the outside of religion, what is spirituality for you? And I think I've spent the rest of my life trying to figure that out, but not, admittedly, not prioritizing it. So maybe it's something I should consider doing. So I'd say I'm gonna struggle on that one, girl. Number 13 is read The Art of War, Beowulf, The Odyssey, The Iliad, and the Bible. That is a hefty homework assignment she gave me. 22-year Lib gave me. You know how long Beowulf is? Beowulf is a super long poem. The Odyssey, the book is like, girl, we're not doing that. I've evolved past this. I did read The Art of War. I've not read the rest of these, and I don't necessarily intend to. I've evolved past that one, girl. No. 14, get a cosmetology license. It's so funny that I used to want this. There was a time I really wanted to be a makeup artist. I remember when we first opened a MAC store in Tallahassee, I wanted to work there so badly. You are going to fall off the bed, Milo. When we first opened the MAC store in Tallahassee, I wanted to work there so badly. And I was like, oh, I could get a cosmetology license because I wanted to do hair. I wanted to do makeup. God, that feels like so long ago. We failed on this one, girl. Sorry to let you down. I've evolved past this, but if it helps, I did pay for my daughter to go to cosmetology school. Number 15, have a house built. Have a house built. I wanted to build a house of my own. I'd say that still working on that. This house that I'm living in right now, I actually plan to, in the next 7 years, knock it down and rebuild it. So I still plan to do this one. Become an expert in something. It's so vague. Become an expert in something. I think for most of my life, I've been very interested in a lot of things. Milo, move. I think I've always just been interested in a lot of things. And so this was my desire to like focus on something. I'd say today I am an expert in something. I'm an expert in working remotely and finding ways to make money remotely. I'm also an expert in project management. I've spent 13 years managing projects. I'd call myself an expert. I'd even call myself an expert in the travel space. Yeah, nailed it. 17, have a completely diversified music collection. I've always liked a lot of different music, I guess. I'd say, I don't know about completely diversified, but I do like a lot of different genres of music. And I have a playlist literally called World Music. So every time I travel, one of the things I always want to know is who's the hottest artist out right now? Like, what's the hot songs out right now in this country? So I have a list of music that I've collected from Egypt, from Cambodia, by the way, Cambodian hip hop it's all right. You should check it out. But anyway, I have this world music playlist that just has music that I've collected from all over the place. Vietnam, all kinds of places. 18, learn the following languages: Spanish, French, Japanese, and Italian. That's 4 languages. 22-year-old Lib gave me hefty homework. I gotta say that I am still going on this one. I am actually scheduled to take a Spanish certification exam next month. I don't know if I want to learn Japanese. I do want to learn French, potentially Italian. So I'd say I'm trudging along on that one. Visit Spain, France, China, Japan, Kenya, Mexico, Puerto Rico, Jamaica, Brazil, Thailand, and Nigeria. I've always known I wanted to travel. I was 19. I wanted to live in Spain. I've been wanting to live in Spain since I was 19 years old. Travel has always been something that I desired, but I just didn't think that it was something that I could do at this age. At the age of 22, I thought it was something that rich people did, or people in the military did, or people that were from another country did. And so I just didn't see myself as a traveler, but it's something that I desired for myself. And I'm just going to say, young Libria, I nailed this. I've been to like 40 plus countries at this point. I took a group of people and my daughter around the world for an entire year. So I think you'd be proud of me. Nailed it. Now, I will say some of these countries you listed, girl, I have not been to. China, evolved past. China's so low on my list. Like, I'm not in a rush to get to China. Japan, I've not been to. And Nigeria and Brazil. I've not been to Brazil, though I am planning to go this year, at the end of this year. Nigeria. I'm actually scared to go to Nigeria, not for the reasons you think. I'm scared to go to Nigeria because I feel like if I go there, I will never leave. I believe that I am Nigerian and I'm gonna get there and I'm gonna see everybody looking like my cousins, my aunties, my uncles, and I'm gonna be like, oh, I'm home. I'm home. But Spain, I've been twice. France, I've been maybe 4 times. Kenya twice. Mexico, I think I've been to Mexico like 6 times. Puerto Rico, I'm actually headed to Puerto Rico tomorrow, but I've been before as well. Jamaica, I've been twice. I took my daughter and my bonus son to Jamaica as well. Thailand, I've been 4 times, I want to say. I spent a total of probably 6 months in Thailand altogether. So yeah, nailed it. All right, 20. Become learned in several areas. Girl, what? Become learned. Learned? Who uses terms like that? Become learned in several areas. I can be a bit scattered. I want to know a little bit about everything. I want to be a jack of all trades. I'd say I did this. I'd say I nailed this. Same thing with the expert one. Let's move on. Start a scholarship fund. What? This is noble, and I commend you, young Libria, for wanting to do that. I've evolved past this. I would rather contribute to someone else's. 22, learn several dance arts. Ballroom, African, ballet, and modern. I love dancing. I have always loved dancing. I've taken 2 African dance classes in college. I took 2 African dance classes in college. I was going to take a ballroom class, never got around to it. I'm not interested in ballet and I'm not interested in modern. I think I would take like a salsa class. So let's say I'm going to still work on this. I haven't evolved past it, but I'd say that we'll work on this one. 23, become a member of a certain sorority. This one, I love this one just because I'm the first college graduate in my family. So I didn't really have any examples of, people being in sororities in my family. My best friend's mother was in a sorority and I looked up to her a lot. I think she was an amazing woman and so poised and so intelligent. She was in a certain sorority and I looked up to her a lot. And so I was very inspired to join a sorority as well. I mean, the other thing is I always wish I grew up with sisters, and I have a strong desire to have deep relationships with women, with female friends. And so the idea of being in a sorority just was a wonderful one for me. I'm not in that sorority. If you guys want to guess which sorority it is, I'm probably still not going to tell you, but feel free to drop it in the comments. I'm not in that sorority, 22-year-old Lib. But I haven't given up on the idea. Let's move on. 24, send my mother to an exotic spa. I've always wanted to spoil my mom, apparently. Send my mother to an exotic spa. I'm going to say that I nailed this because I took my mother to South Africa and took her to a spa there on a safari camp. Does that feel exotic enough? Does that qualify? Nailed it. 25 is work for Mac. I mentioned earlier that I used to want to work for Mac so badly. I have evolved past this. 26, attend a party at the Playboy Mansion. I wanted to hang out with you, Efna. That is wild. Why did I want to do this? I feel like back then, Playboy Mansion was like our generation Studio 60, 60, 67, 64, Studio 67. It just seemed like a cool place to party. And they went there in Sex and the City. You know what I'm saying? Didn't they go there? Yeah, they went there in Sex and the City. And Sex and the City was a big deal. Like it was the show when I was in my 20s. And so it just seemed like a really cool thing to do. Glad I didn't. Obviously, I've evolved past this. I don't even know if the Playboy Mansion exists anymore. Milo, you got to move, man. I've been gone for a week, so Milo's like, I don't know, buddy. Okay, sit down. Sit down, let me finish this. 27, create a modeling portfolio. I used to want to model. I was in a modeling troupe at FAMU called Epicurean. Your girl was fine, okay? Your girl was fine in college. And I wanted to create a portfolio and do some print work. Sorry to say, young Lib, I did not create a quote unquote modeling portfolio necessarily, and I have evolved past this. I'm good on that. 28, do a hair show. I think I wanted to be a model in a hair show. I'm going to say I nailed this because I did do a hair show. I've done a couple of hair shows, but it was with my client who had a hair care business, and I ran his booth at a hair show in Atlanta, one in Paris, and one in Amsterdam. So I did do a hair show. I'm going to say I nailed it. 29. This is hilarious. Milo, stop. 29 is hilarious. Become a responsible individual. What was I going through? What was I going through at 22 that I was like, you need to be responsible? I'm going to say I nailed it. I feel like I'm a responsible individual for the most part. I have slip ups here and there. I raised a whole child. I bought 2 houses. I'm doing pretty decent. So 22-year-old Lib, I just want to let you know, we did grow up. We adult pretty well most of the time. I'm going to say I nailed it. 30, get a degree. Get a degree. Like I said, I'm the first person in my family to go to college. And I almost dropped out a couple of times. Not only did I get a degree, I got 2. So I graduated with a master's degree in business administration with a focus in finance. Nailed it. Number 31 was DJ. I had a DJ name in college. I wanted to be DJ Chameleon. The reason why I wanted that name was because I always looked different. And some days I'd come to school looking like Erykah Badu. Sometimes I would come to school looking like a big girl. But I had a good friend who was a DJ, DJ Cool Ant from Chicago. Loved him. He was a great DJ. He was teaching me how to DJ at the time, but I just never got around to that. Now, I'm not going to say that I struggled on this one or evolved past it, because I will say I've traveled to multiple countries where we've gone to bars and I took over the DJ booth. Usually it's a hookah lounge. This happened in Colombia. This happened in Mexico. It's happened in a few places where I just go and take over the DJ booth and boom, I'm the DJ. And I took over the DJ booth at a boat party on the Nile River in Egypt. So all that to say, 22-year-old Lib, I nailed it. DJ Chameleon lives on. 32 is invest and play the stock game well. I'd say I'm gonna struggle with this one because I do and I don't. I mean, I have a 401k. It is invested. I've invested in ETFs here and there as well, but I haven't done this well. So I'm gonna say that this one's on struggle. 33, save $1,000 every year. Stackable. Save $1,000 every year. I'm smiling because I've always had challenges being a saver, and I'd say I nailed this. We'll just say I nailed it. So like we're just talking about what's on the list. I'm not going to add anything to it. I was about to add like I need to have an emergency fund and all this, but this says save $1,000 every year. I've done that, so nailed that. 34 is create a family tree in history. I started trying to do my family's genealogy years ago, talking to my great grandmother and her sister, her youngest sister. They were the only 2 left in that generation. This is something that I started and didn't finish, and they both passed away, so that entire generation is gone. This is something that's pretty tough to do. My family's been in the United States for 6 generations, but I don't know anything past that. There's not a whole lot of records or anything like that. But I've not given up on this. This is not something I'm prioritizing in my life right now. I think this might be a retirement project for me. I think this might be something that I do in the next phase of my life, like when I'm in my 60s or something. But yeah, 22-year-old, this is something I still want for myself and for my family. 35, become sole proprietor or part owner in a business. I've started several businesses since I was 22 years old. Some of them flopped and some of them have done pretty well. So nailed it. We did that. 36, win a fitness contest. I was very muscular growing up. They used to call me He-Man. And then when I got to college, I filled out. So I had curves and muscles. And I wanted to do like an actual fitness competition, like a physique or not physique. I wanted to do like a bikini competition. Never got to do that, but I did do an unofficial fitness competition that was basically a group that got together on Facebook. We worked out for 10 weeks. And then at the end of that, you submitted photos, and they actually had judges who have won fitness competitions to judge you. And I did win. I actually did win that fitness competition. So it just says win a fitness competition. It does not say a physique or bodybuilding or swimsuit, whatever. It says a fitness competition, and therefore nailed it because I did win. Here's a picture of what I look like when I won. 37, visit all 50 states. I've always wanted to be a traveler. Even 22-year-old Lib wanted to travel. I just did a little tally. And as of today, I have visited 33 states because I just got back from Hawaii. I just got back from Hawaii today. That's my 33rd state. So I have 17 states to go. So I'd say that I'm doing pretty well. I'm chugging along on this one. 38, have a real family reunion. We've never had a family reunion. Our family reunions are funerals. We do get together for Thanksgiving every few years, but we've never had like a focus, like this is a family reunion. And that's something that I've always wanted to do. I have not given up on that. 39, visit 7 wonders. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't even know what the 7 wonders are at this point. I visited a few of them, I think, but and they keep changing. They keep changing. So I'd say I won't say I've evolved past this, and I won't say I've nailed it. So I'll just say I'm still chugging along. 40, be a regional, state, or national officer for the NAACP. A girl. No. 41, learn to braid. I had a daughter, so had to learn to braid. I'm going to say I nailed that. 42, take voice lessons. I've always wanted to be able to sing, and I am so bad at it. I love singing, but I'm not good at it. My mother always told me I had a nice voice, but I did not know how to control it. I have not given up on this. So I'll just say I'm on struggle, but it's something I still want to do. 43, go to the Olympics. I made that face because I actually had tickets to some Olympic games. So if you don't know and you've never tried to get tickets to the Olympics is a bidding system. So you go through this one company. There's only one company authorized to sell tickets to Olympic events. And you basically put in a bid to buy tickets to different events. And your bid either gets accepted or denied. It's almost like a lottery, almost, but you're basically bidding. So it's pretty much a lottery system. And I got really, really good events for the Olympics in Brazil in 2016. I got tickets to soccer. Zion was playing soccer. I got tickets to a soccer event. I got tickets to a basketball event. Jaden was playing basketball at the time. And I got tickets to a track event. And who doesn't love track? Love track. And I had to give them all away. Well, I sold them. I sold them because the Olympics in Brazil were going to be 2 weeks after my group landed in Prague for our year abroad. On our first leg of the trip, like 2 weeks after the trip started. And my team was like, Libria, you cannot drop these people off in Czech Republic and then abandon them. I was like, that's what I got a team for. Anyway, I did not get to go to the Olympics. And then I was planning to go to the Olympics in Japan in 2020. But A, my bids, I didn't get the lottery. I didn't get the tickets. And B, COVID. So I've not given up on this. I still really want to go to the Olympics. 44, attend a professional basketball, tennis, and hockey game. Wow, tennis. Why did I say tennis? I wonder. I wasn't even into tennis. That's strange. I have been to a pro basketball game. I've been to a few. Actually, living in Atlanta, you go to Hawks games. One of my friends, his wife worked for Johnson & Johnson, and she always had box tickets, and she never wanted to go. So he would always take me. Never been to a professional tennis game, though I could, because one of my close friends, her husband coaches tennis, and they go to games all the time. I have been to a professional hockey game. I don't need to go again. So I'd say I'm going to go ahead and say I nailed this because I also went to professional football games as well. 45 is visit Martha's Vineyard. See, y'all just got on Martha's Vineyard recently. A lot of people are on Martha's Vineyard. I've been on since I was 22. I've been wanting to go since I was 22. Part of it is because a lot of the books that I read, some of them were stories of affluent Black people, and they would go to Martha's Vineyard. A couple of my friends 5 years ago started Rattlers on the Vineyard, and I've been meaning to go. I was supposed to go that first year and didn't get around to it. So this is something I'm still working on. 46, be in a play. Again, with the acting. We're back to me wanting to act. I nailed this because I was actually in a play in college. But I also say it's something that I still want to do. So I'm still working towards it as well. I miss acting a lot. 47, see Jesus Christ Superstars live. I think I saw Jesus Christ Superstars in class. Like they played a video of it and I loved it and wanted to see it live. I've evolved past this. I don't need to see that. 48. 48 is hilarious. Be on The Real World. This is when The Real World was at its height. This is like old school classic reality TV. I have a friend that was on The Real World, Karamo. He went to FAMU. He was in my modeling troupe. I have evolved past this. I do not want to be on The Real World, though I was going to apply to be on Married at First Sight. I was filling out the application and just didn't answer the very last question, but I would totally be on Married at First Sight. I would totally do it. 49, get a certification. I have more than one certification, actually. I have a project management professional certification, and I have a certification in Agile as well. So nailed it. 50 is get straight A's. I think I did that. I'm not even sure. I think I did. I don't even remember, to be honest with you. But that is my list of 50 things. I don't know what my tally is, but I'd say if young Libria met me now, I think she'd be impressed. I think if 22-year-old Libria met me today, she would be impressed, not only because some of these things I really did nail and I really did do. Some of them I'm still working towards, but I have done things that my 22-year-old self could not have even imagined doing. Like she never would have put this on this list because she didn't even know it was possible. And so, yeah, I'm going to call it. I'm going to say my 22-year-old self would be impressed with me. I did not let her down. We still got a ways to go, but I know I did not let her down. And now my focus is on making sure that I don't let my 80-year-old self down. Anyway, happy birthday to me and to 22-year-old Lib. Let me know in the comments if you met your 22-year-old self or your 21-year-old self, what do you think that version of you would think about this version of you? Would she be impressed? Or would she be like, she all right? Would she be like, girl, get your life together? Let me know in the comments. Anyway, this was a really cool find. I'm glad I stumbled across this and got insight into who I was years ago. My biggest takeaway from this is I knew myself a lot better than I thought I did. I said in the beginning that, I spent a lot of time characterizing my 20-year-old self as not liking or knowing myself very well. But a lot of these things I still care a lot about. And so I knew me a lot better than I thought I did. Like the foundations of who I am has not changed because my deep desires are still the same, which is pretty cool. Anyway, thanks for hanging out. I will see you in the next video.